Hello everyone, Linda Israel here, and I'm going to make some tags out of some junk mail and old book pages and napkin, as well as some calico collage digital images. They're from the Exquisite Dreamer. So I've put down my non-stick craft surface here, and I've got a postcard, one of those oversized one. I believe it's 6 inches by 11. And then I just grabbed some book pages and hymnal pages, dictionary pages, whatnot. And I'm just going to cover this piece of paper, so I'm going to cover this postcard. It's kind of hard for me to get the words out sometimes when I'm in the creative mode here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look at these pieces of paper, and basically I'm trying to just cover up this postcard. Alright, so I'm just going to grab a few pieces of paper here and get started. I think what I'm going to do is kind of start in the middle here and use most of this dictionary page, and then I'll fill in with some other pages on the side and stick it on the edge. Alright, so I've got my glue pot, which is just Aleene's tacky glue, a little bit of water, and some sponges underneath. And so I'm just going to go on here and apply a liberal coat of glue. Because I'm going to cut these up, that's why I'm going ahead and just using as much of my page that I have. And I think I'm even going to do this upside down. So I'm going to put it right here, kind of line it up with the edge just a little bit. Smooth that out. I got a hymnal page, so I'm going to overlap it where this white area is and adhere it down on top. I was going to kind of change the direction, but I changed my mind. So I'm going to trim off these pieces here so that I can use this on the other side. Alright, so this side is covered. I'm not going to worry about the other side just yet. So what I'm going to do next is I've got a napkin here. I'm going to open it up and let's take a look at it. I think what I want to do is separate it. So I'm going to get a little piece of scotch or transparent tape, and just a little piece of it. I'm going to put it on the corner and kind of pull up, and that should reveal one of the layers on the back side of this napkin. Sometimes napkins are 2 or 3. Really good napkins are 4-ply. And I think this one is a 3-ply. So I'm just going to gently pull away these layers. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I want to attach this napkin over the book pages and the postcard. So I'm just kind of smooth it out here to my side. And I'm going to go ahead and add a really generous coat of glue all over the book page and hymnal pages that I attached to this postcard. I'm going to wipe up any excess glue that might be on my table. Then I'm going to lay this napkin face down so it's closest to my non-stick craft mat. And then I'm going to take this postcard and I'm going to lay it on top, kind of in the middle, because I want to have a little bit of color on both edges. And I'm just going to smooth it out with my fingers. And I think if I did this right, yep, that'll work. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply some glue on either side here and wrap this around to the back side. I'm planning on putting another piece of paper on top of this to be writing space on the back of the tag, so that's why I didn't go ahead and cover the whole back side of the tag. So now both sides are covered. I'm going to give it a few minutes for this to dry, and I'm going to trim off the edges, and I'll be right back. Alright, so this is pretty much dry to the touch. It's still a little damp, but I can go ahead and move on to my next step. Since it's 11 inches long, I happen to have a piece of linen text weight paper that's kind of has a green tint to it, and I haven't used very much of this because it doesn't match very much, but I only paid like $2 a ream for this paper, and I thought, well, why can't I just use it to be the writing space that's going to be on the back of the tag. So what I'm doing now is just adding some more glue all over the back of this postcard, and I will adhere this piece of text weight paper. So you could use copy paper, you could use notebook paper, whatever you like to put on the back side for writing space. All right, I think I got enough glue. So now I'm just going to line it up with the edge and smooth that out. You can still sort of see the postcard through there, but I'm okay with that. I think it's covered enough that it won't matter. So now what I'm going to do is trim this off. I've got my spray box here, so I'm going to put this in with the back side up. And I've got my Moroccan stencil. And what I'm going to do is I've got some walnut stain glimmer mist, Tattered Angels. It's kind of a tea dye color almost. It's got a lot of gold in it. So I'm going to spray that over. So it'll give it a little bit of a distressed look to it. And let's pick this up. And I'll use my heat tool to dry it. And then we'll cut it up here in just a moment. When I'm done with my glue pot, what I like to do is go ahead and add a little bit more glue to it so it's ready for the next time that I want to use it. And I'll put the lid back on and set it aside. Alright, so this is pretty much dry, and I'm going to cut it up into some pieces so I can use it as tags. And since this is 11 inches long, if I divide that into 4, if I did my math right, it should be a 2 3/4 inch of a strip. So I'm just going to cut this into 2 3/4. So now I have these pieces that can become tags. And the next thing I like to do is go ahead and cut off the corners. And I think what I want to do, is that what I want? Yeah, I'm going to do a 1 inch. So I'm just going to mark this at the 1 inch mark here. Now I'm going to take my scissors and cut across at a diagonal. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. Just flip that piece over and then trim it. And then that makes it the same on both sides. So I'm going to use this as my guide and just line up on the rest of these and trim them the same way. Since I like the look of stitching around the edges, I've got my Brilliant stamp pad, and this is part of the Shabby Stitches stamp set that I have in my shop. So I'm just going to ink it up, and then I'm going to stamp along the edges so it'll look like I've sewn it on my sewing machine. See there? I'm going to do that to all 4. I have a few pieces of the Exquisite Elegance journal kit from Calico Collage, and I thought it might be kind of pretty to use some of these pieces on top of these tags. So I'm going to get my distress tool and the walnut stain ink, and I'm going to go ahead and go around all the edges of all these pieces. While I've got the distressed ink out, I'm going to go ahead and go all around the edges of all of the tags on both sides. Okay, so I've got all the tags with a little bit of distressed ink added to them. And I think what I want to do now is just kind of decorate them. Let's see, I've got these little words that I have in my shop. And this one says, "A dream is a wish your heart makes." And I think what I want to do is adhere down this little floral piece. Can't get the words out. So I'm just going to use my tacky glue around the edge and adhere this down. I have some black soot distress ink, and I'm going to use that on the edges of the words, just to cover that white edge of the paper, because these were printed on white paper. I think that'll look cute like that. I've got some tulip glitter paint. You could use stickles, you could use glam, you can even paint with tattered angels, but today I want to use the tulip glitter paint. So I'm just going to put a little bit where this flower is, the rose, and then make a little mark on the leaves, just a little. I'll set that aside to dry and I'll work on the rest of them, doing the same thing, just adding little elements here and there. And I think that one will be pretty. Let's see, do I want to put it on this one or this one? I think I'm going to put it on this one. So I'm going to do treasure. Oh wait, I think I have another one that I want to use. Here we go. This one says use your wings. Let's do that. Since we've got a bird, kind of fits, doesn't it? I'll put a little of the tulip paint on the bird. I think what I'm going to do is add this little ticket to the bottom here like it's a tuck spot. And then I've got this journal card that I'll put on top. I'm going to add some tulip paint to this little flower as well. If your lines that are coming out of the glue look too much like lines, if you'll just take your finger and kind of pat it a little bit, you can smooth those out. I think this one I'm just going to put the tag right in the corner. And I'll have a couple of these left over. I'm going to go ahead and glue it all the way down because I don't care if this one is a tuck spot. I just want something pretty. It'll take a few minutes for the glitter paint to dry, and I will come back once it is dry and we will put some ribbons and fibers through the top to make these into tags. I decided to go ahead and add remember this day and write your story onto the little journal card. Now I'm going to take my crocodile hole punch. This is also an eyelet setter, and we're going to punch holes in the tops of all of these tags. I've got, I don't know what this is. I think it's supposed to be so you could crochet a little scarf thing, and I just thought it was kind of pretty. So I'm going to cut 4 little pieces of it and use 1 per tag. And then I've got some ribbons here, and I'm going to cut pieces to go with these. So I'm going to make them the same length. And if you've ever had trouble trying to get fibers through a hole in a tag, here's a tip. Fold it in half, grab a piece of string or wire or dental floss, fold that through, and then stick it through the hole in your tag, and then you can pull your fibers through a whole lot easier than trying to pull them through without this little tool. So I'm just going to open that up, poke these ribbons through that hole, and cinch it up. See how that looks? I'll do that on all 4 tags. All right, there are the 4 tags that I made. I'll give you a little closer look here. This is what the back side looks like with the little fibers. And they're a nice sturdy weight because we use that cardstock postcard junk mail. And you can even tell that we used that junk. And then using the dictionary pages and the hymnal with the napkin on top just adds a beautiful color to these. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Or if you want, give it a thumbs down. It counts no matter what. Definitely subscribe if you haven't subscribed. By the way, every Monday at 3:45 p.m. Central Standard Time, I have a live stream right here on YouTube where I teach things, whether it be to make a journal or tag or whatever the project may be. It's usually by request. So if you have a request of something you want me to make, you'll definitely want to come to the live feed and tell me what you want to see. And I always have prizes and giveaways, so you'll want to be sure to be there so you can be a part of that. And remember, anytime you're watching any of my videos and you want to speed through it, down in this lower right-hand corner down here is a little gear. If you click on that, you can choose to speed up or slow down a video. So if I speed through something and you really wanted to see it slower, choose a lower speed and it'll go slowly through that. And if you want to go faster, hit that gear and you can speed it up. Again, I hope you enjoyed this. Please comment below anything that you have to say about what I made today. Again, this was the Calico Collage Exquisite Dreamer. It has some really beautiful images, including some unicorns in it. So definitely check that out from Calico Collage, as well as the Tattered Angels. And anytime that you purchase something because I shared it, please definitely let them know how you found out about them. Just say, watched a video by Linda Israel, and I would greatly appreciate it. It kind of gives me brownie points with those vendors. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. I greatly appreciate you taking the time for being there. Have a fabulous day. Love you lots. Bye.